The point is we need to allow them to become Americans in this greatest nation on God's green earth.
News, opinion, passion. This is AM 970, The Answer.
2 people have died after a multi-truck and tractor-trailer accident that is closing the New York State Thruway in Rockland County. It happened before 10 this morning near 14B. A tractor-trailer headed northbound crossed over the divider. Other vehicles were involved. The southbound thruway remains shut. Northbound all lanes are still subject to closure and delays stretching through 2 states through that area. Students will be able to attend JFK High School on time next month after an explosion at the Bronx school last night. School's Chancellor Carmen Farina said they would never put kids in jeopardy, but their plan is to have students there for September 9th. 3 citizen groups suing Governor Christie for not reimbursing the state for the cost of state troopers who protect him during his campaign for president. And a 14-year-old boy facing charges for violent purse snatchings in Harlem. You now know what's going on. I'm Adrienne Watson on AM 970, The Answer.
From the studios of AM 970, The Answer, on Broadway and Wall Street in Manhattan, this is WNYM, Hackensack, New Jersey.
Fox News Radio, I'm Paul Stevens. Another rough day on Wall Street. Another big sell-off amid fears about China's economy. The Dow dropping over 500 points. The NASDAQ off 170-plus points. The S&P dropping about 64. Crude oil dropping below $40 a barrel for the first time since the global economic crisis. Investors being told to ride it out.
They basically say, stay the course. Don't try to catch a falling knife. Don't get in here at this point and try to sell your stocks. And what's interesting is if you go back to, say, 2008, and you look at how people actually traded their own mutual funds, they stood pat.
Fox Business Network's Jerry Willis. Word that a high-ranking Islamic State leader was killed by a recent drone strike. Details on that now. Live in Washington, Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern.
The terror group's second in command is dead. The White House confirming Fadhil Ahmad al-Hayali was killed earlier this week by a U.S. airstrike in Iraq. A National Security Council spokesman says the ISIS leader was traveling in a vehicle near Mosul when he was killed. U.S. officials describe al-Hilali as a senior deputy to ISIS chief Abu al-Baghdadi, a primary coordinator for moving large amounts of weapons, vehicles, and people between Iraq and Syria, who was planning operations for the past 2 years. Paul.
Jared, worsening wildfires in Washington State, now having local officials looking for more manpower. Okanagan County being hit hard.
They're dealing with multiple fires that have formed a complex, which now includes the fire that killed 3 crew members. The fires have forced thousands of people from their homes, and resources are stretched so thin that the Department of Natural Resources in Washington is accepting offers from civilians who want to volunteer to help. The U.S. Forest Service has said they're bringing in resources from Canada and fire managers in from Australia.
Fox Radio's Jessica Rosenthal. French officials saying 3 people were wounded in a shooting on a high-speed train. A suspect reportedly apprehended. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Are you at risk of identity theft? Yes. A new identity theft happens every 2 seconds. Does giving out your social security number increase risk? Yes. Putting personal information out there increases risk. If you forget your significant other's birthday, are you at risk of getting the silent treatment? Probably. No one likes having their birthday forgotten. But it won't increase the risk of identity theft. Unfortunately, things like shopping and breaches will. That's why LifeLock goes beyond free services that simply monitor credit, from detecting threats to helping resolve issues if your identity is ever compromised. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock has proprietary technology to detect threats and a dedicated resolution staff to help restore your good name. Is getting the silent treatment fun? No. But it's a walk in the park compared to having your identity stolen. Protection starts at $9.99 a month. For 10% off, go to lifelock.com and use promo code NEWS.
Our top story, another major sell-off on Wall Street today. The Dow finishing down 530 points, about 3% total value. A barrel of U.S. crude oil falling below $40 a barrel. History made today in the U.S. military graduation ceremony.
At Fort Benning, Georgia, 2 female U.S. soldiers have been given their Ranger tabs for their uniforms, graduating the elite training school alongside 94 men doing it just as they did.
No woman that I know wanted to go to Ranger school if they change the standards, because then it degrades what the tab means.
Captain Kathy Grice and Lieutenant Shay Haver earned respect of fellow Rangers, but Pentagon rules still prevent the women from serving in Special Ops.
Fox Radio's Evan Brown. Hurricane Danny jumping to a Category 3 storm now, moving across the Atlantic about 900 miles from the Leeward Islands. Top sustained winds at about 115 miles an hour with no threat to land, experts say so far. A message in a bottle finally finds its owner, and it could